Welcome back to Fast Monty's Garage. Today we're coating several different parts of mine with Cerakote. If you're not familiar with Cerakote, it's a high solids ceramic based paint that is the new hotness in the automotive aftermarket world. For reason number one, if you're using the same series, you can mix the color, the base colors, and come up with your own color. And now you can match your calipers to your wheels, to your engine parts, including AN hoses, and your headers. What I'm going to show you today, you can do at home and paint your own headers and have 1800 degree paint from Cerakote at home. How crazy is that? If you're new here, welcome. My channel is all about me working on my 69 GTO that I restored myself and I painted in my home garage. So I am borderline deadly with a spray gun. I know how to use it. I've done it before. I'm going to take some of those techniques and apply them today. We're going to talk about masking techniques. We're going to talk about a $5 paint booth you can set up. We're going to talk about, more specifically, is prep, because that's the most important step in any painting project. The other reason I love C-Series so much, it is air cured. Perfect for us DIY guys. The other series that Cerakote has online are fantastic as well. Like if you want high lubricity, imagine a slide on a gun or a fishing reel, or you want super high corrosion resistance, or you want both, those are probably going to be oven cured. And thank God, because if I tried to fit one of these parts in the oven, it won't fit, for one. Number two, that'd be an instant divorce, because this stuff is stinky. I can't even imagine like driving half a GTO down the road. That'd be pretty ugly, wouldn't it? Now, let me get into the three different parts to give you guys some inspiration on your build. But before we do that, if I ever helped you out in the past or I help you out today, consider getting a hat, shirt, those links are below, or even the full Monty Club. All those proceeds go towards building up the channel and me making more mistakes so you guys can learn faster. So subscribe if you haven't. Let's get it on. Let me show you the first part we're going to tackle. Oh yeah, part number one, it's actually two parts, is revision one of my GM A-body skid plate. If you have a 64 through 72 GM A-body and you're not protecting your oil pan, highly suggest you get one of these. I designed it, but you can order it direct from SendCutSend, my favorite sheet metal fabricator. Links are below. So we're going to paint both of these today. One, we're going to use Glacier Black, and the other one, we're going to use the Graphite Black. Ironically enough, they are both rated up to 1800 degrees. So we're good there. That's a good example, again, of painting your headers, but we'll see the different sheens there. Next part. Oh yeah, brand new radiator. I got to make it black. We're going to use the Graphite Black with gloss clear over it. So two-stage this bad boy, and yeah, I can't wait. This is a future episode. It's a different style radiator. I love Cold Case. If you are looking for a new radiator, these things have 1.25 inch wide tubes. Go hit up their website, coldcaseradiators.com. Use my discount code FASTMONTY. Let me show you the next part. Yep, best for last. No, we're not touching this side. We're hitting this side because nothing annoys me more than looking through a spoke and seeing the back of the barrel shining back at you. But after several thousand miles, this gets disgusting. So we're going to paint this also with Graphite Black. And I'm pretty sure it's the same color and tone as the spokes, which will give me some more ideas for future projects. But this is going to be by far the most difficult one, and hopefully give you guys some ideas what you can do with your wheels with the tires mounted. Now let's talk about prep. All right, prep work is the most difficult part of any job. Now, luckily for us, Cerakote is what's called a DTM paint, direct to metal. We don't need a primer, but we do have to etch the surface thoroughly and degrease the heck out of it. So per Cerakote's instructions, and actually any paint job, you have to degrease first before you start sanding or bead blasting or whatnot, because you'll embed the grease in your product, so you don't want to paint over that. So make sure you degrease first. So for degreasers, I love this stuff. It's called KC10 from House of Color. I used it between almost every step on the GTO to get fingerprints off, to get any kind of wax off, etc. Especially like the wheels, if you have fresh polish on there, you got to get it off. You could even do a bath of dish soap if you want to get the polish off, and then hit it with this degreaser. can't have any grease or oils on that surface before you rough it up. Now, for Cerakote, they recommend a 100 grit aluminum oxide bead blasting, which we are not doing today. I don't have the facilities, I don't have anywhere nearby, and these are kind of awkward, especially the wheels, the tires on them. So we're gonna do plan B. Plan B is going to be wherever you can is rough it up with red Scotch-Brite. This is basically 320 grit sandpaper. I also have a die grinder with a red Scotch-Brite wheel. After you do that, and especially on steel, once you degrease steel, it's going to want to oxidize pretty quickly. I'm going to hit it with a phosphoric acid of some sort. There's several on the market. POR 15 makes metal prep. That works great. Picklex, another one I like, and Eastwood even has what's called Afterblast, so that works well too. That regardless, after about a day, you can come back and paint it. So that's the step for steel. The aluminum is going to be nothing but elbow grease. So red Scotch-Brite after degreasing, and same with the wheel. So after I do all that, we can talk about masking and our $5 paint booth. Let's go. That is pretty damn shiny, isn't it? So what I did was I hit it with the cleaner, and then I hit it with my Scotch-Brite. You can tell the way I used the Scotch-Brite, just the pad, cleaned it off, but this was with my die grinder with the red Scotch-Brite attachment to it. And you can quite literally paint this immediately, assuming you're confident that you broke all that scale off on all those holes. But since I'm going to be waiting a couple days because I still have to send it by paint booth, I still got to clean the other parts, it's really a good idea to hit it with the phosphoric acid of some sort. So today I'm going to use the Picklex 20, and the whole point here is to actually add another layer of rust prevention. If there's any zinc oxide or rust on here, then it will actually convert it to a zinc phosphate and basically give your part a zinc coating, so it will not flash on you or rust and etch at the same time. So it's actually kind of another reassurance in my part, especially in these grooves. So the whole goal here is to keep it wet. I'm just going to use a paper towel, keep it wet for about 30 minutes. So you're gonna have to keep coming back, making sure the dry spots are wet front and back. The other important thing is do not put this on cement. So I have plastic down to catch any drips, because this will eat cement instantaneously. Ask me how I know. You can kind of see some dry spots starting, but keep flipping it over is kind of painful. And you can use a sponge and like a bath to put the sponge in. But just make sure it stays wet for a good 20-30 minutes. It doesn't dry too incredibly fast, and the good news about Picklex is you can actually just let it dry overnight, and then you're ready to paint actually at any time within now and within 6 months. As long as there's no oxidation that shows up, you can paint at any time. So the camera roll. Here we go, 24 hours later, it looks all discolored and weird, but it's actually ready to paint, which is kind of weird to think about. But I would not touch these barehanded until you do paint them. And I would also hit them again with our degreaser right before we spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and set these aside. Like I said, I got a couple days ahead of me of prepping the radiator and the wheels. Let's go do that. All right, this is before. It's nice and shiny. So the last time you're gonna see it like this. Yep, all scuffed up. It's amazing what a little Scotch-Brite will do to your nice shiny wheel. And now I know how you can get that brush look from your metal parts. Pretty awesome. But you know, next step is we gotta mask it. Let's do that. Yep, all masked up. Super easy to do. Didn't take me that long. I'm totally kidding. I'm going to do a separate video on how I did this, because it dawned on me there are a lot of tricks you can use on any project that I used to mask the wheel and tire. So stay tuned for next episode. Subscribe if you haven't, because I'm going to go over exactly how I did this. Now, next step, let's get a paint booth set up and start mixing some paint. Before I show you the booth, it's actually made of this stuff here called Easy Sheet. It's a super thin plastic, heavily used in automotive masking for paint because it's so versatile. I mean, look, it also doubles as a poor man's car cover. That's one piece, just cut to like 25 feet length, draped over the car, taped it up, because When you spray with a professional sprayer that we're about to use, paint gets everywhere. That's why we're gonna set up a paint booth. Totally optional, but if you do the math, it's only like $5. So I did a video on it already. Don't worry about it. Go click on that eye. That video is there if you want to see it. I did it a few years ago. But that same material is what I used on the wheel here. So on next video, you'll see exactly how to use it to give you some ideas for masking. So all that said, let me show you the booth. It's fun. Yep, there it is. There it is. Let's go. Hey, watch your step. Watch your step. Narrow passage. But there it is. Look at this. This is basically 5 feet by 6 feet. And the other trick is, that's not in that video, is to put cardboard down, because if too much paint gets on the plastic underneath your shoes, it'll stick to your shoes. Yeah. I learned that the hard way, but yeah, it's all makeshift. Gen 1 skid plate is ready to go. Let's go get some paint in the gun. Here we go, here we go. Are you ready? Now, first things first, safety. You're gonna need to wear gloves. You don't have to, but I mean, why spend time cleaning? Just take your gloves off. I like to wear long sleeve t-shirts. I also like plenty of light. This is a Night Buddy. I love these things. I have like 3 or 4 of them, just in case the batteries go dead. And most importantly, you need a respirator. Part numbers are below for this, where I get them. This is the recommended model number from Cerakote. Now, moving forward, brief description of guns here. This is my primer gun. It's low cost. It's from DeVilbiss. Look at the size of it though. We are using a mini gun for a reason. We're painting small areas, small parts. Got to get into tight crevices. Cerakote sells a couple different versions. This is their Pro model. They have a lower cost version. This is around $300. It's from Iwata. And rule of thumb, with paint guns, the more money you spend, 99% guaranteed it's gonna come out of the gun better. So I went with the Pro model. I love this thing. Another thing to keep in mind, when you buy an Iwata gun, get it from a trusted distributor. Do not buy these on eBay, because these are well known to be counterfeit. Let's get into the paint stuff. For cleaning, you're gonna need acetone. If you mess up when you're painting your project, like you bump it with the air hose or whatever, and it's not correctable, hurry up and douse the whole part in acetone and get the Cerakote off. It will come off. If you wait for it to dry, it ain't coming off. So just a word of warning there, but that's what I'm gonna clean the gun with. And the other cool thing about Cerakote, I mentioned earlier, you can take the product straight from the bottle and put it in the gun. Now, for that reason, Cerakote sells these filters, and they drop right in the cup. So we can pour right into the cup and shoot. And that's what we're gonna do, boys and girls. So that first version of skid plate, I'm gonna use Glacier Black. This is a brand new bottle. You gotta shake it for like 5 minutes. So let me do that, and we'll be right back. All right, it's been a few minutes, and I apologize, guys. I forgot to mention, or maybe I didn't. I don't know, man. Too much going on. Hey, on Cerakote's website, every product has its own data sheet. Make sure you look it up, because it tells you specifically what filter to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Got my filter in my cup. Let's go to work. And of course, I can't see the bottom. There we go. I'll be willing to bet it's the whole bottle. I can fit in the cup, and the beauty of this not having to mix anything is you can pour it from the cup, the excess, back in the bottle. Pretty bitchin'. So I got most of it in there. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off so I can put the cap back on. And after it's done draining, I'm gonna put the filter in my acetone bath. Okie dokie. Cap's on. Let's go hit the booth and adjust our gun. Okay, so all guns are like a 2-stage trigger. So if I pull it halfway, just air comes out. And that's when you want to set your pressure. So the gun specs say 30 PSI. Actually, I should say Cerakote's spec is 30 PSI for this material. So I got 30. Now our bottom one is wide open, because we're controlling the pressure here, or if you have a regulator on the wall. Top 2 here is we're going to be fully tightened, so I'm fully clockwise. I'm going to do 1 full turn on this top knob and 2 turns on the bottom knob. 1, 2. And we can test fire here against the wall. Nice. That's actually pretty decent. You don't have to do anything. I'm about 3 to 5 inches away. You notice how it's kind of slanty? The way you adjust that is just turn the air cap vertical. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit all the inside spots here to make sure I get everything covered with that small pattern. And I'm gonna make a judgment call. I'm probably gonna make a big pattern to do the rest. So I'll do this real quick without my respirator on, but then I'm gonna put my respirator on because it's stinky. Nice. Okay, executive decision. I'm just going to leave the fan pattern alone and just go top to bottom. It stinks in here, so looks badass. So in between coats, I basically waited 10 minutes. And the test spots on the wall, you basically see when they're sticky. And then you can do your second coat. So I basically waited 10 minutes. It depends on what temperature it is, what humidity it is, etc. But this came out great with 2 coats. I ended up doing the whole bottle. Let's see how much is left. Oh, not bad, not bad. So I can put that back in the bottle and use it for another project. Damn, that stinks. Woo! Don't have my respirator on. All right, radiator time. It's on my motorcycle lift, which I used to take up my transmission. But I'm thinking this is a good orientation because I don't need to paint where the logo is, cold case. It's where the fans go over. So I'm gonna try and hit everything without moving it. 2 coats. I'll probably let it sit overnight and then hit it with a clear coat tomorrow. So here we go. Man, putting it on wheels, brilliant. All right, team, it's been about 16 hours, and my opinion is as long as you hit it with their second layer, like clear, within 24 hours, you should be good, especially for C-Series, because you don't have to oven bake it. It takes like 5 days to fully cure anyway. Now, when you put any kind of clear product on anything, you got to make sure it goes on a wet, but not too wet so it drips. Now, the beauty of Cerakote is it does flow out extremely well. And those of you that will try it, you'll notice that right away, especially if you have a high quality gun like an Awada. So I'm going to go ahead and do this front part here to show you what wet should look like. All right, there we go. Nice and shiny, just like you'd want to see it. All right, we're almost there. This one is scaring me because, well, never done it before. Just like the old FMG way, right? It's tough. I mean, this is a minigun and I can barely get in here. I'm gonna have to hold the hose. Thank God I have a pivot on it, and probably do 20 to 30 degrees, roll the wheel, do another 20 to 30 degrees. Oh, I should probably get a block underneath so it doesn't roll backwards. My biggest worry is the valve stem. Like, the valve stem's at an angle. Maybe I can hold it back a little bit and spray in there. So I think that's what I'll do is I'll start there. That'll be my first starting point and then go around. Oh my God, the things I get myself into. Oh my God, it's a coward, right? Ooh, I think that worked. Don't touch anything with his hand. Okay. Okay. All right, rolling, rolling, rolling. Block. Let's go. Oh, hell yes. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Here's the Glacier Black is on your left, my right. This is Graphite Black. A little close up for you. It's very tough to tell. There is a difference in sheen, but either way, either one you pick, same protection, same thermal protection as well. 1800 degrees for both of them. But man, they came out spectacular. I put the Delrin plates on as an option. And those of you guys that have a 64 through 67 GMA body, Bob, thank you very much. He bought one, put it on a 64 Malibu. It fit just fine. So these officially now fit 64 through 72 GMA bodies. So if you don't have a protection pan or plate for your oil pan, seriously consider getting one. You do not want to be driving along, get a puncture, or accidentally shave the oil pan off your engine like I almost did. So links are below, including installation video. So go check it out and protect your oil pans, baby. Man, these look good. Okay, let's go check out the radiator now. Ooh, baby, look at how shiny, glossy black this is. Oh my gosh, as you can tell, it came out great. What I probably didn't show you yet is when I went to paint in between the fins here, is I shot at an angle to get the sides of the fins, but look at that. Badass. Now the real surprise is on the back, because I didn't tell you about this yet. All 7 of you that lasted this long in the video. Check this out. Fresh out of the FMG CAD shop is a new fan shroud for cold case radiators that fit 14-inch brush fans from Spall. Those of you guys that saw the video, as I modified the cold case shroud to fit the Spall fans, which is kind of painful, this one legit fits with air ducts where these rubber flap doors go all over these rectangular holes. So stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't, because we're gonna go through a pretty thorough video on this one too. So pretty stoked. I went ahead and shot it with the gloss black as well. Looks pretty bitchin'. Now the most important one, how did the wheels turn out? Let's find out. Woo-wee! You guys see through the spokes there? The valve stem popping out. I know it's tough to tell. Here's the close-up. But that's what I was talking about. Check out the back. Ooh, doggy. Look at that. This almost perfectly matches the spoke color. Man, I couldn't be happier. This looks completely badass. Whew, man, I love it. Dang. Oh, now I have to do the fronts. Oh man, this is so badass. I can't wait. Now guys, I know this is a long video, a lot to go over. Have any questions, pop them below. Remember, next episode, we're gonna cover how to mask a wheel the way I did using that easy sheet. The masking tricks obviously came out great. Look, I mean, oh man, I couldn't be happier. This is fantastic. So thanks for hanging out. Until next time, you know the drill. Build them fast, drive them faster. See ya. Damn.